spores from a parasitic fungus called cordyceps have infiltrated their bodies and their minds.
This game is what happens when developers watch a David Attenborough documentary clip on YouTube and think to themselves, yeah, that would make a great game. I'm now waiting for their follow-up game about an endangered parrot trying to mate with a researcher's head.
Oh, no. He's the contractor, okay? I can't lose this job.
Add another lead role to Troy Baker's IMDb page. Does the voice actors union work for this guy?
What are you still doing up? It's late.
She wasn't up. She was asleep until you woke her up and told her to scooch over.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
As someone who lives in the South, I can tell you there's a strong possibility that she's not joking and is in fact selling meth.
Oh, good. You started helping out with the mortgage then.
Yeah, you wish.
Any entertainment that starts out with a father-daughter relationship this adorable is doomed to misfortune in the first 10 minutes. You waited nearly 2 hours to take your daughter to bed after admonishing her for staying up late? She seemingly went back to sleep right after she gave you the watch. And what were you watching till 2 in the morning anyway? The only thing I would stay up that late to watch would not be something I'd be comfortable watching with my daughter sleeping right next to me.
Hello?
Sarah, honey, I need to get your daddy on the phone.
Uncle Tommy, what time is it?
I need to talk to your dad now. There's something...
If I were in this situation, and with my knowledge of how story cliches work, I would pretend that I didn't have urgent information to pass on. That way the phone wouldn't know to go dead on me. It's either that or I would immediately yell about the impending zombie apocalypse as soon as someone picked up. Since we're in control of Sarah and she's not the girl on the box art of this game, I'm going to go ahead and assume she lives a long, productive life. Working mirrors. You won't see those again after the opening. All kids play guitar cliché, and have skateboards cliché, and play a sport cliché. In this case, 2 sports. Sarah wrote a birthday card with a poem about Joel not liking the same movies she does. Well, that's to be expected when you're into Twilight knockoffs about werewolf romance. And stop being so damn adorable with your father-daughter relationship. You are putting yourself in mortal danger by doing that. Make him mad so he smacks you around and gives you long-term emotional problems that need solving. That will guarantee your survival by my understanding of the genre. A VCR and a CRT television? Joel does not deserve that best dad ever birthday card if he's cheaping out on you like that. Sarah must have really liked The Turning. She has 2 copies of it on her bookshelf. You left a window open at night? In the South? Hope you like mosquitoes. And moths. And stink bugs, and ladybugs, and wasps, and mosquitoes.
We've received reports that victims afflicted with the infection show
That's
signs
nearby.
of increased aggression, and
Exposition news broadcast cliché.
there seems to be some commotion coming from
This news broadcast cuts to static after the news team is caught in an explosion. Unless the news station itself was blown up in that explosion, there is no reason why the channel would cut to static rather than back to the studio.
Sarah,
I saw him this morning.
listen to me. There is something bad going on.
This game started with Joel coming home late from work just before midnight, having left his daughter home alone all day. So presumably he had no prior warning that a zombie outbreak was happening until just now, 2 hours later. How exactly does such a thing get sprung on the world in just 2 hours? Tommy even says half the people in Austin have lost their damn minds. There had to be some kind of commotion going on Joel's way home from work that he should have noticed.
No cell phone, no radio. Yeah, we're doing great.
The cell phones and radios are already down? This outbreak just started. How is everything already broken?
But we ain't the only town. At first they're saying it's just the South. Now they're going on about the East Coast, the West Coast.
This outbreak started all over the US at exactly the same time. I'm no virologist, but I can tell you that that is next to impossible. Everyone forgets how to drive during the apocalypse cliché.
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Listen, buddy, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit.
A few hours into the outbreak and the military has already decided to start killing civilians, even though they have no logical reason to do so. They haven't established safe zones or quarantines or martial law yet. They don't really even understand what's going on, so murdering indiscriminately is the best course of action. I'm finding it hard to understand how Sarah got shot here while Joel remains mostly unscathed. He turned away right before the soldier fired multiple rounds. At the very least, Joel should have taken a few hits in the back and side. Uncle Ex Machina.
Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on.
This game is one of the good examples of the dead family member for character development cliché. But it's still a dead family member for character development cliché. So, I have to ding it.
Hundreds and hundreds of bodies lining the streets.
Panic spread worldwide.
Los Angeles is now the latest city to be placed under martial law.
The most interesting parts of every end-of-the-world scenario always happen under the opening credits, complete with news broadcast exposition.
Remember, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. Believe in the fireflies.
Really? That's your rebel motto? And Fireflies is the name? Do you guys actually want to overthrow the military, or is this just something you do on the weekends? I let it slide when the game started with Sarah waking up since she's not the main character, but then as soon as the prologue is over, it starts a scene with Joel waking up too. I can't let it go a second time. And how long has it been since your entire world collapsed around you? Thanks.
Where were you, Tess?
West End District. Hey, we had a drop to make.
We had a drop to make.
Well, you wanted to be left alone, remember?
Yeah, why are you telling her off for making the drop by herself if you told her to leave you alone?
Deal went off without a hitch. Enough ration cards to last us a couple of months, easy.
That's only one ration card, though. How is that going to feed one person for a month, let alone two? Especially since later we see you giving multiple ration cards to a guy for a bit of information. Yeah, that really covers up the secret entrance to your smuggling tunnel, guys. Looks like the guy who paints climbable ledges switched to yellow paint and caution tape.
Hold up. Spores.
If you walk through a cloud of spores, chances are good that some of them will stick to your clothing and hair. Meaning, even if you wear a gas mask, as soon as you're clear and you take it off, you are still at risk of infection without a change of clothes and a shower.
I'm not going anywhere without Robert.
Bitch, I will bash your skull unless you turn around and get your dumb ass out of here.
Fuck this.
God damn, if they keep running this game's plot through multiple bullshit filters like this, I'm going to have to really work for these sins. Why didn't you take a right? The way behind you is a completely clear path. Instead, you turned left and ran into a chain link fence.
Look, let's go find a firefly.
You won't have to look very far.
Yeah, the writers just decided to drop me into the plot right here to save on time and the budget.
Where's Robert? I needed him alive.
How did you not figure out he was dead after hearing the gunshots? You obviously overheard them talking and they killed Robert just seconds before you said anything. Supposedly, the devs changed Ellie's face to look less like Ellen Page, but still ended up with a character that I had to check IMDb to make sure wasn't Ellen Page. Which just makes me wonder why they didn't just hire Ellen Page. If David Cage can convince her, I'm sure Sony can manage. This game has exactly 4 puzzles. Find a ladder, find a plank, find a pallet, find a pushable box, and then bring them to the place. Actually, you could probably consider all 4 of those to be the same puzzle. Kind of weird when you consider that these guys developed the Uncharted series.
And I'm 14, not that that has anything to do with anything.
Oh, it most certainly does.
You know, I've never been this close. It's the outside. Can't be any worse out there.
Disney Princess Syndrome.
What on earth do the Fireflies want with you?
Hey. Sorry it took so long.
Hey, I'm here to interrupt any important information being shared. Did I interrupt anything? Good. Mission accomplished. Also, just before arriving at the apartment, Joel said this.
I'm not supposed to tell you why you're smuggling me, if that's what you're getting at.
You wanna know the best thing about my job? I don't gotta know why. To be honest with you, I give 2 shits what you're up to.
So why are you so curious now? Hey, it's the good old sucker punch from off-screen cliche, as well as the can only be defeated in cutscene cliche. 2 sins for the price of 1. Why is every pair of scissors in this game broken in half? Other than to give an explanation as to why you can only make 1 shiv at a time from them. Since in a world where 1 + 1 = 2, a pair of scissors would equal 2 shivs. Apparently everyone in this world decided to keep their scissors stored in an unusable state. I'm getting Jurassic Park raptor scene flashbacks. That's several hundred pounds of wooden beams Joel just lifted by himself. Not bad for a guy in his 50s.
Joel!
I'm alive! I'll make my way around.
What exactly was the plan? You obviously couldn't follow them through the gap since you were holding it up in the first place. So why make it out like this is an unexpected setback? If the infected can infect you with a simple bite, wouldn't punching them to death be a pretty good way to infect yourself? Their head has a lot of teeth in it, and you can easily cut your hand on said teeth.
Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop. Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
You going on?
No, don't!
Holy shit. She's infected.
Tess plays the vague word association game with the fact that she's infected, and eventually Ellie gets sick of it and just states the very obvious fact that Joel should have picked up on already. Bad guys are always right on time. Hell, they apparently killed the Fireflies in this building, left, thought to themselves, what if more of them show up? And then came right back to find exactly that.
Don't tell anybody about your condition. They think you're crazy, they'll try to kill you.
That's what she was already doing. She didn't tell you until you found out from the scanner.
Your friend a bit paranoid, maybe?
That's putting it lightly.
Paranoid? He lives in a town full of infected. If anything, he's got the right idea.
See that wire? Stay underneath it, okay? Just keep your head low and you'll be fine.
That's just funny. That deserves some deal with the glasses. This game came out when the bow and arrow was the in-demand weapon for every game. That trend lasted about a year. All of Bill's traps are supposed to kill infected that get too close to his hideout. So what's the point of this one that just hangs you upside down? The bombs are way more effective and have to take far less time to set up.
Yeah, sure, Joel. Go ahead. Take my card. Take all my food, too, while you're at it.
By the looks of it, you could lose some of that food.
Listen to me, you little shit.
She raises a good point. How do you keep that kind of weight on you when you have to struggle just to survive every day? Bill has terrible gun discipline. He loads up his shotgun, cocks it, then drops it barrel first on the table, pointing at Joel. Looks like a comfortable thing to keep in your pocket. By the way, shrapnel doesn't need to be sticking halfway out of your IED to work.
Hey! What'd I say to you when we walked down the steps? What'd I say?
I'm just fixing your stupid pile.
Don't touch.
Dude, just hide your porn better rather than be paranoid over it with it out in the open like that. Shoeboxes, man. The infected never take the opportunity to bite a main character when they have it. They always seem to wrestle with them first.
Battery's drained, but cells are alive.
Meaning?
Meaning, we push it, get it started, and the alternator will recharge the battery.
You might want to check it before you bet your life on it. There can be a lot more wrong with a car than a dead battery, especially one that's been sitting there for 20 years.
Keep your foot on the clutch, and when we get to...
I know how to pop a clutch.
14-year-old girl who has never been outside the quarantine zone before now somehow knows how to drive stick. The only vehicles we saw back in Boston were military, so where did Ellie learn how to do that?
Here.
What's this?
You'd be amazed at how many cars still got gas in them.
It's highly unlikely that a truck will run on 20-year-old gasoline. I'm just going to point out that at every other point in this game, roads are blocked by rusted-out abandoned cars. Except for this part.
This here is not a bad read. Only one problem. Right there. To be continued. I hate cliffhangers.
You and me both.
Here. This make you all nostalgic?
Why would you bother stealing a cassette tape? You had no way of listening to it before, and most vehicles don't come with tape players anymore.
I'm sure your friend will be missing this tonight. Light on the reading, but it's got some interesting photos.
That porn magazine was still in the top of the pile when all of you left Bill's place. I double-checked. You know, for possible sins.
Ellie, that ain't for kids.
Whoa!
Whoa, indeed. That dude on the centerfold bears a striking resemblance to Joel. Considering the relationship between you two, that just makes me feel icky.
Bye-bye, dude!
No, that's a perfect good waste of gay porn. I mean, sure, throw it out the window. Who needs that filth?
Well, what about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
How many people actually drive through here to make this ambush worth the time and effort? These two are the only ones on the road other than the military. Joel's face doesn't get even a single cut from that. Was there a reason you had to gently lower the gate to the floor rather than just have Ellie let go of the chain? Other than loading gate reasons, that is. That was a 4-story fall you just took. Even if you did survive the fall, you should be unconscious and drowning once you fell in the water. Despite Joel having the ability to see through walls with his listen ability, if this game wants Joel to be ambushed in a cutscene, Joel will be ambushed in a cutscene.
You seem to know your way around a gun. You reckon you can handle that?
You might want to check that it's loaded first. In fact, check that it still works. You found it next to a body that from the looks of it has been there for a very long time. Joel's only weakness is cutscene ambushes. Guy is unstoppable otherwise.
Joel! Joel, stop! Look!
That kid with a gun has some serious patience. Joel got a good 7 hits on the back of Henry's head and he still didn't fire.
Yeah, I thought you were one of them too. Then I saw you. If you haven't noticed, they don't keep kids around. Survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest is all about passing on your genes by having children. Something tells me Darwin isn't read that much anymore in this world.
What's the rule about taking stuff? It weighs like nothing. The rule. What is it? We only take what we have to.
Dude, this place has been abandoned for 20 years. It's fine to take whatever you want. You're not fighting stereotypes anymore.
Every day they congregate down there, guarding that damn bridge.
Just like with the car ambush, who exactly are they guarding it from?
Okay, we gotta get him up.
I'm sorry. We're leaving.
What? This is bullshit.
Considering that all you had to do was put your arm down to grab him like every other character in this game has been able to do, I'm with Ellie. This is bullshit. First, this Humvee drives into the lot shooting blindly in the dark. When it finally spots Joel, who is standing perfectly still in the open, it waits a good 5 seconds before opening fire. And missing. Nor can it hit him while chasing him down a road.
Fuck!
Wait, why are the hunters guarding this bridge if it's missing a section and you can't even cross it? Not exactly a strategic resource anymore.
Okay.
See? What'd I tell you, huh? He's good. Everything's fine.
I left you to die a few minutes ago, but I'm going to just assume you're cool with that and resume our friendship where we left off.
He left us to die out there.
No, you had a good chance of making it, and you did.
He was trapped in a lot with no way out, about to be gunned down by a Humvee. Where did you see a good chance of survival in that situation? Had Ellie not jumped back down to help him, he wouldn't have been able to get through the shutter door.
I saved you.
He saved me too. We would have drowned.
How did Henry get to the other side of the bridge without swimming in order to save Joel and Ellie from drowning? That bridge has a huge gap in it. Also, how the hell did you save Joel, who is unconscious and weighs more than you, and Ellie, who can't swim, by yourself in rough water? Sewer level. That's the second time in this game they've used the door opening booby trap to set up an action scene. Well, I have you guys pinned behind a car. I'm in an armored vehicle that you are in no way capable of harming. Better pop open the hatch and stick my head out to throw a Molotov at you rather than use the mounted machine gun. Where is the propane tank that's fueling this portable stovetop? It's just sitting on a cinder block with no connection. The infected that attacked Sam never bit his leg. It kneeled next to him and started hitting. And if it bit him hard enough to draw blood, there should be a hole in his pants. Also, way to endanger your brother and everyone else by not telling him that you were infected. Living up to the classic zombie survivor stereotype. And also, doesn't it take a few days or more for someone to turn? This happened in just a few hours.
Henry, no!
Well, that's one way to get rid of a character who's outlived its usefulness.
I need you to...
I know. Step on the fucking pallet.
Ellie is just as sick of doing these puzzles over and over again as I am. Joel, we've got to talk about your listenability. Why is it I can use it to sonar locate clickers through walls, yet people get the drop on you in every other cutscene? Get it together, man.
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
Well, go on then.
She's immune.
Immune to what?
Oh, come off it. Do you really think he's talking about some other disease and not the civilization-ending pandemic?
Tommy, I need this.
What exactly do you need? You're trying to pawn off Ellie on your brother and be on your way. You make this sound way more cathartic than it is.
This is how you gonna repay me, huh?
Repay you?
For all those goddamn years I took care of us.
Tommy was already a grown man when the outbreak started, so I'm kind of wondering why you had to take care of him, especially when he seemed more than capable of looking after himself. He did save your ass from that soldier, remember?
The hell is that?
We're under attack.
There's been way too much character and plot development. Time for a random bandit attack.
Joel! Oh man, they were coming in from every direction, then Maria was like, we gotta run, and so we dove over these tables, and this huge guy blasted with a shotgun.
Slow down. Listen, hey, are you hurt?
No.
God damn it. I need to talk to you.
Well, I didn't want to take Ellie to the Fireflies for you before, but now that I've witnessed less than a minute of interaction between the two of you, my mind has been changed. Tommy and Joel are following Ellie's horse tracks right through this valley filled with hostiles. So the question is, how did Ellie ride straight through their camp and not get attacked? This machete isn't deadly enough. Better duct tape some scissors to it.
Where is this lab of theirs?
It's all the way out, University of Eastern Colorado.
There is no such thing as the University of Eastern Colorado. Ellie could easily slip through these bars, but instead Joel has to find a way around.
You're looking for the Fireflies. They've all left. Time to reflect.
That's a digital voice recorder, so why does it sound like you're fast forwarding through a cassette tape?
Come on. Looking for the others. They've all returned to St. Mary's Hospital in Salt Lake City.
Considering how much you were fast forwarding through that tape, you're lucky you landed on the one piece of crucial information you needed. Had you skipped past it, you would have no idea where the Fireflies are at.
You asshole!
Fucking Jesus, Joel. God. Hey, if Lara Croft can walk off that exact same injury, I expect no less from you. Somehow Ellie's jacket isn't covered in blood despite riding behind Joel on the horse. Just look at the table he leaned against earlier. It was pretty clearly spring going into fall when Joel and Ellie arrived at the university. Now it's already the dead of winter. How close were you to that rabbit when you shot it? I heard like 3 footsteps tops. And your horse was right next to its den. There is no way in hell this deer didn't spot you shooting a rabbit, retrieving it, then taking it back and tying it to your horse. Deers spook very easily. It should be long gone by now. And come to think of it, how did you not notice it before now? It was standing just feet away from where you shot the rabbit. You were even looking in that direction.
Who's there? Come out!
Ellie has been taking notes and does not get ambushed in this cutscene.
Name's David. This here's my friend James. We're from a larger group.
I get the feeling the devs made the conscious decision to ensure David and Joel never had any scenes together, since the combination of Troy Baker and Nolan North would overload the game with lead voice acting talent. That is until Uncharted 4, where they do act alongside each other. Suddenly I'm getting Resident Evil 4 flashbacks, and Resident Evil 5 flashbacks, and Resident Evil 6 flashbacks. Wow, they do overuse that scene a lot. How exactly do the infected survive the winter? They are just mindless berserkers after all. Shouldn't they all die from exposure?
This winter. That's been especially cruel.
It just started though. It was still fall a day or so ago.
James, lower the gun.
Oh well. Ellie's track record didn't last long.
She's here.
Really didn't last long. Like father, like surrogate daughter, I guess. Also, this room was completely empty before, so David used some off-screen stealth magic to make this ambush happen.
So now what? You gonna chop me up into tiny pieces?
It's the only way I'm gonna be able to convince the others.
Convince them of what?
That you can come around.
If your plan was to get Ellie to join you, it probably wasn't the best idea to lock her up in clear view of one of your men cutting up a person to eat.
And you're special.
Male villains are perverts cliché.
Ellie.
What?
Tell them that Ellie is the little girl that broke your fucking finger!
Yeah, still the best line in any video game ever. One penicillin shot later and Joel is back to 100%, despite the hole in his stomach not being fully healed. You know what this deadly hatchet needs? Mother-fucking scissors. It's not even funny anymore.
Now you're gonna mark it on the map. And it better be the same exact spot your buddy points to.
That shouldn't be too much of a problem. He's sitting right behind him and can just point to whatever he points at. This tactic only works if they're held in 2 different rooms. Hey, you see that knife you just stuck in his teeth? Why don't you keep that instead of having to craft shivs from scissors?
Fuck you, man. He told you what you wanted. I ain't telling you shit.
That's alright. I believe him.
Okay, I'll take a sin off that line too. I'm not heartless. Well, that was convenient of the cannibals to keep Ellie's switchblade right in the room she was being held in. This guy is good at surprise cutscene attacks. This table is already charred before the cutscene when Ellie knocks a lantern onto it. And once the cutscene starts, it looks normal while on fire. I even watched videos from other people who've played this scene to make sure it wasn't a bug. And it's like that in their videos as well. This boss fight is all about turning this game's love of cutscene ambushes back on itself. How do you miss that shot? Normally I'd send this guy for switching from a pistol to a machete, but he clearly can't shoot for shit, so this might be in his best interests.
I knew you had heart. You know, it's okay to give up.
Just shoot her! You still have a gun! Why are you doing the kick them when they're down villain thing?
You gotta see this.
Just say it's a herd of giraffe, kid. Stop making a guessing game out of it. Ellie yelling and dropping a crate doesn't alert all the clickers and bloaters just a few feet away. I think this makes the 3rd or 4th time in this game where something bad has been set in motion by a catwalk or something else collapsing. Ellie, you are trying to pull open the bus door you're standing on. Normally when you get clocked in the head with a rifle butt, it's going to leave some visible evidence. And this game has been pretty good at showing injuries, except for this time. And that time with the window glass.
The hell do you mean surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. A vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
If all you need to create a vaccine is a mutated sample of the cordyceps, just scrape some off Ellie's arm. Hell, if you absolutely have to have a sample from her brain, you can just perform a biopsy. There is absolutely no reason to kill her to get it.
Where's the operating room? I ain't got time for this.
You really didn't give him enough time to answer after clocking him across the face twice with a pistol. But whatever, that was awesome, so I'll allow it. Game gets to end just like it began, with Joel doing the exact same thing, carrying a girl in his arms.
You can't save her.
And one last ambush on Joel.
You can still do the right thing here. She won't feel anything.
Game tries to fool you into believing Joel chose to leave Ellie with the Fireflies by switching scenes, only to immediately show that he didn't, and he saved Ellie and killed Marlene.
Looks like we're walking.
You were going to be walking the rest of the way regardless if the truck broke down. The road in front of you is collapsed. How did Ellie retrieve her backpack? She had nothing on but the hospital gown when Joel took her back from the Fireflies.
Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Someone shut up that damn lie detecting mariachi guitar.
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.